We shall discuss now about gametogenesis. It's the process of formation of gametes, that is, sperms and ova, from the primary sex organs, testis and ovary, respectively, in all sexually reproducing organisms. So, gameto refers to gametes, genesis refers to formation. So, formation of gametes from the reproductive organs is called gametogenesis. And meiosis, it's an important cell division that plays a significant role in the process of gametogenesis. We'll discuss now first about spermatogenesis, and the other one is oogenesis. Spermatogenesis occurs in the male reproductive organ, and oogenesis occurs in the female reproductive organ. We'll discuss now about spermatogenesis. It's the sequence of events in these seminiferous tubules of the testis that produce the male gametes, the sperms. So, spermatogenesis, it's a sequence of events and it occurs in the seminiferous tubules of the testis. As a result, male gamete sperms are produced. So, what happens is during the embryonic development itself, the primordial germ cells migrate into the testis and they become immature germ cells called sperm mother cells or spermatogonia. And this happens or it occurs in the inner surfaces of the seminiferous tubules. So, this is the first step, that is before a boy is born, a male baby is born. During embryonic development itself, the primordial germ cells they move into the testis and they become immature germ cells called sperm mother cells or spermatogonia. And this first step or first event, it occurs in the inner surfaces of the seminiferous tubules. The spermatogonia begin to undergo mitotic division at puberty and it continues throughout the life. Okay, so this is about how that is primordial germ cells they develop themselves into sperm mother cells or spermatogonia. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic representation. So from the sperm mother cells, these are the spermatogonia which undergo mitosis at the time of puberty, and after that spermatogonia it undergoes changes, then it produces a primary spermatocyte. Okay, so actually during this division, mitosis only is taken place. So as a result, 2n number of chromosomes only are present in the spermatogonia, also having that is 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs of chromosomes, and in primary spermatocyte, which also has 2n number of chromosomes, are diploid in condition, having 46 chromosomes. So what happens is after that primary spermatocyte undergoes first meiotic division or the reduction division. As a result, this primary spermatocyte produces two secondary spermatocytes. So, as the secondary spermatocyte is formed as a result of meiotic division, the haploid cells are produced. That is, diploid number of chromosomes is reduced to haploid number of chromosomes. So, now secondary spermatocyte has only 23 chromosomes. Secondary spermatocyte again undergoes meiosis II or meiotic division II, and each secondary spermatocyte produces two spermatids. So, as a result, four spermatids are produced. Then these spermatids they develop and later on they become mature spermatozoa. Okay, so this is about diagrammatic representation to show the spermatogenesis. And here this is the section of the seminiferous tubule. Here we can see interstitial cells are Leydig cells, and these are the Sertoli cells or sustentacular cells, and these are the spermatogonium, which become primary spermatocyte. Then they undergo division to form secondary spermatocyte, and spermatids are produced. Later on, spermatids are converted into mature spermatozoa, which are released into lumen or the cavity of the seminiferous tubule. So this is a picture to show the cross section of the seminiferous tubule, and here we can see spermatogonia, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, even spermatids and spermatozoa. So at any we can see they are at different developmental stages. All these spermatogonia, secondary spermatocyte, all at different stages can be seen in the cross section of the seminiferous tubule. So, in the first stage of spermatogenesis, this is what we discussed earlier. The spermatogonia migrate among Sertoli cells towards the central lumen of the seminiferous tubule. So they become modified and enlarged to form primary spermatocytes, which are diploid with 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes. Some of the primary spermatocytes undergo first meiotic division to form secondary spermatocytes. So, as secondary spermatocytes are formed as a result of meiotic division, they are only haploid in nature with 23 chromosomes each. The secondary spermatocytes undergo second meiotic division to produce 4 haploid spermatids. The spermatids are transformed into mature spermatozoa or sperms by a process called spermiogenesis. So this is also a diagrammatic sectional view of seminiferous tubule showing spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, and spermatozoa, and these are spermatids. And this is the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. Sperms are finally released into the cavity or the lumen of the seminiferous tubules by a process called spermiation. The process of release of sperms into the cavity or lumen of the seminiferous tubules is called as spermiation. The whole process of spermatogenesis takes about 64 days. The whole process of spermatogenesis takes about 64 days. At any given time, different regions of the seminiferous tubules contain spermatocytes in different stages of development. So this is what we have seen in the picture. So at any given time, the region of the seminiferous tubule shows that is spermatocytes at different stages. So the sperm production remains nearly constant at a rate of about 200 million sperms per day. Spermatogenesis starts at the stage of puberty and it is initiated due to the increase in the release of gonadotropin releasing hormones, that is GnRH, by the hypothalamus. So here we are going to discuss about how hormones are useful in the process of spermatogenesis. So the hormone, the main hormone, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone or GnRH, it is released from hypothalamus. So as a result of it, spermatogenesis, it is initiated. At the age of puberty, spermatogenesis is initiated due to the release of gonadotropin releasing hormone. It is secreted from hypothalamus of the brain. GnRH, it acts on the anterior pituitary gland. This hormone, it acts on the anterior part of the pituitary gland, that is adenohypophysis, and it stimulates the secretion of two gonadotropins, namely FSH and LH, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. We'll discuss now what this FSH does. So it actually, FSH stimulates testicular growth. It helps in the development of testicular growth, and it also enhances the production of ABP, that is androgen binding protein, which is released by Sertoli cells. So the release of this protein, androgen binding protein, from the Sertoli cells, it is enhanced by this FSH. So it also helps in the process of spermiogenesis. It also helps in the process of spermiogenesis, that is conversion of the spermatids into mature spermatozoa. So FSH helps in the testicular growth, and it helps to enhance this Sertoli cells to secrete ABP. It's an androgen binding protein, and also it helps in spermiogenesis. On the other hand, LH, it acts on the Leydig cells, that is interstitial cells, and stimulates the synthesis of testosterone, which in turn stimulates the process of spermatogenesis. So this is how the hormones, the role of hormones, it is connected to the spermatogenesis. So the hormones are very much useful, and one is the GnRH or gonadotropin releasing hormone from hypothalamus, and that initiates anterior pituitary gland or stimulates it to secrete two hormones, FSH and LH. And FSH and LH, they also help directly in the spermatogenesis, in the process of spermatogenesis. So we will discuss now the structure of the human spermatozoan. Spermatozoan, it consists of a mature spermatozoan consists of two parts, that is a head, three parts: a head, neck and tail. Head, neck and tail. Head consists of two parts. One is acrosome, other one is nucleus. Acrosome is a pointed part of the spermatozoa, and it helps in the secretion of an enzyme called hyaluronidase, and it is also called as lysine because it helps in dissolving the membrane of the, that is during fertilization. While fertilizing the human egg, this acrosome secretes this hormone so that it can penetrate into the egg. And this is nucleus, and this acrosome is connected to the middle piece by means of neck. And middle piece consists of a spirally coiled mitochondria, and this is tail, and tail is actually formed by an axial filament which is also called axonium, and this tail tapering towards the end. It has a tapering end. So this is about the structure of a spermatozoan. The human sperm is a microscopic, flagellated and motile gamete. So due to the presence of tail, it can move also. It is motile in nature. The whole body of the sperm is enveloped by plasma membrane, and it is composed of a head, neck and a tail. Head comprises of two parts, namely acrosome and nucleus. Acrosome is a small cap-like pointed structure, and it is present between the tip of the nucleus and present at the tip of the nucleus, and it is formed mainly from Golgi body of the spermatid. So acrosome, it's a cap that is present at the tip of the nucleus, and it is formed from the Golgi body, and it contains hyaluronidase, a proteolytic enzyme which is also known as sperm lysine, helps to penetrate the ovum during fertilization. Nucleus is flat and oval. The neck is very short, and it is present between the head and the middle piece. It contains the proximal centriole towards the nucleus, which plays a role in the first division of the zygote, and the distal centriole gives rise to the axial filament of the sperm. So this middle piece consists of two centrioles, proximal centriole and distal centriole. Proximal centriole, it is towards the nucleus, and distal centriole, it is towards the tail, and it helps in the formation of the axial filament of the or the tail. This middle piece possesses mitochondria which is spirally twisted around the axial filament called mitochondrial spiral or Nebenkern. And this mitochondria, it is useful in the generation of ATP molecules. So from that, energy is produced for the movement of the sperms. Movement of the sperms require energy. It requires energy. That energy is produced from ATP. That ATP is produced by this mitochondria. The tail is the longest part of the sperm and is slender and tapering. It is formed of a central axial filament or axonium and an outer protoplasmic sheath. The lashing movements of the tail push the sperm forward. It is estimated that around 60% of sperms must have normal shape, of which at least 40% must show vigorous motility for normal fertility.